Tom King Solomon Jones. How in the hell you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Earlier when we was talking and stuff, you know we know you have used drugs and stuff, and you have smoked weed. That's what we're gonna talk about today. I use the term weed because that's what I grew up with. You know, I have changed it to medical cannabisness, you know, and marijuana. But when I'm not conscious of what I'm saying, I'm just talking to a friend or somebody, I use the term weed. You know, when, when did you smoke your first joint? Your very first? Do you remember?
At 13.
13? You remember what day it was?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you know, like I said, I had two older brothers, and you want to follow. It's natural to want to grow up fast and follow adults. So they were smoking cigarettes. You learn early to sneak up in the alley somewhere and smoke a cigarette. And not long after that, I started smoking weed. It was very available back in the 1930s and early 40s.
How would you buy it? What was it, nickels, dimes?
You buy it by the stick. They call it stick. You can buy them for a quarter.
What you mean stick?
We call them joints. That's where the term joints come from. And they were made like toothpicks then. And people don't realize they were grounded in the place.
Oh, they had ground the weed up?
Yeah, it was grounded down where you could put it in there like bull down.
Hey. You could grind it down, and they call it sticks, but they joints. That's what we know.
Joints, yeah.
How much they selling them for, a quarter?
Yeah, a quarter.
Oh, man.
That's a shame now. In today's market, you paying $5 for a little joint.
Yeah.
That's what you get at the clubs mostly.
When you was in the Navy, you didn't get a chance to smoke when you was in the Navy, did you?
Yeah, shit. That was my hangout, man. I told you. I couldn't smoke it. Didn't have smoked liquor because I wasn't 21. So the only thing you could get that anybody could get was weed. You know, and nightclubs was open then, and oh man, cities, L.A., San Diego, they were live. And there always be somebody that want to buy a joint.
I remember my daddy used to buy matchboxes. Yeah, it was in the little matchbox where the wooden matchboxes was come in, and that was like $5 or something like that for that whole matchbox.
I got a funny little story. Won't take but a minute to say, but back then a lot of musicians smoked marijuana, and I had a musician friend blow trombone, and he growed it at home, and he had these little cats, including me, come over his house. He grew it and put it on a lamp and cured it himself. And they were smoking and get high, and he was giving him a blowjob.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Tom.
That scared me. That scared me.
Man, I didn't expect you to say that one.
That's what I said.
You got me right away, man.
So when you came out here with your wife, and y'all was in the theater, you was into the you was smoking out here heavy?
No, I wasn't smoking at all.
What?
I didn't smoke. My wife died somewhere. The club opened about 85. I came out here about 84 or 5 after I got in that trouble. And that's when the cannabis club. But right at that point is when I started back smoking out here. It was around 84, 85.
Okay, let's jump to 84 and 85. We're going to pick up all the years in between later, but today we're just going to strictly focus on the cannabis, your cannabis issue. Since later on tonight, we're gonna also have you in front of a lot of people receiving awards for your tribute and all your assistance and everything you done did, you know, for the cannabis war, the cannabis movement, and you know they're gonna pay tribute to you by giving you a lifetime achievement award. So today's camera focus, which we're gonna have 2 or 3 more, strictly gonna be on when you came here from your first club, you know, the first person you met and stuff like that. But your wife, all of that, her passing and all that, we gonna come back, you know, and we gonna do that later. So you came back here in '86.
Yeah, I came here again in '84, '85.
Okay.
And that's when I met Dennis Perone. And
Where'd you meet him at?
at
You
his
remember?
club
And where? Tell us
on
out.
Market Street.
Where about on Market?
Right near Market and Van Ness. He had a club, I forget, 18-something Market.
Okay.
But I met him and heard about what he was doing up there. I read about him, what he was doing up there. And since I was the mayor of Market Street, as a lot of people called me, I used to set up stores all up and down Market, selling that dollar store stuff, and my caps and pictures and all of that. I found out about Dennis Perone, and I went up here and immediately I asked him, I said, Dennis, could you mind if I set my little store up here and I won't have to be on the street, I'm well known. Dennis said, of course, you know, and didn't make any demands that I was going to have to give him some money. But that was the light of my life at the time, because Dennis had a brother, and his brother was a musician too. And I had to run a house up there because I wasn't an employee of Dennis. I was working on my own. And since I was so well known with entertainers and stuff, I started the Friday evening jam session.
Up at the club?
At Dennis Perone's Cannabis Club. And it was fantastic.
What was the name of it again?
Friday evening jazz jam.
Friday evening jazz jam.
Yeah, and that was the delight of my life, I'm telling you, man. I had the best. Dennis' brother was a good, I forget whether he played guitar or bass. But we really turned that place on, man. We were the talk of the town. And that's when 350 got going.
350, I know what it is, but could you tell the people what is 350?
350 is the Visadero Club. Randy's group at 350 near Oak. And they sort of, how would you say, they sort of stretched out from what the 215, which Dennis Perone had started. But then I never had an opportunity to really get involved because there seemed to be some kind of walls of a line. Since I belong to the underclass, that I wasn't able to get the recognition.
Okay now. You know, I'm going to be a little pushy right here because, you know, we have experienced some things and we try to be politically correct about saying some shit we don't want to hurt nobody.
Yeah,
Fuck that. All right, tell me what. Go on and say what you really want to say.
I was underclass. I'm black.
There you go. Say what you want to say.
And you know, I've heard it expressed several times before. There is no real black position, a power position in here. Someone might use blacks as, how would you say, a token. But they really don't have any power, and they don't want to have recognition of the power. So I've done much of mine what I've owned. In fact, I've developed a project I call Miracare, based upon my work with...
You slick sucker, yeah. Folks, the reason we laughing, he know, I'm gonna zoom in on it. We had already talked about, hold it up, Tom. Hold it up, I got it. I'm gonna put it in. We had talked about, this gonna be an issue we talk about later on, but he slid that in real smoothly. A good opportunist.
Well, I asked the
Okay. Okay.
so-called medical marijuana people of power here, what was my position in the medical marijuana whole situation? Am I recognized? Is my work recognized? And a part of, out and out fact, I work with Leroy Looper.
And who is Leroy Looper?
Leroy Looper ran the oldest drug rehabilitation center in the city for blacks up there on Fillmore. That took blacks out of prison, brought them in, did the same thing as Delancey Street or Sinai, give them a place to stay, help them get a job, start them group therapy.
Was you doing that at the same time you was working at Dennis Perot? I mean, you
no, this was way before Dennis Perot.
All right, let's jump to Dennis. Let's come back to the club.
But see, giving recognition to the fact that I had been involved with drug counseling and rehabilitation for 30 years when I joined Dennis Perot.
You had to join?
I mean, when I was a part of it. When I'm part of it, I had 30 years prior. In fact, I'm specially trained by a psychiatrist that I ran a special ward and position in Fort Worth, Texas hospital. That's equivalent to the thing that, what do they call it, where musicians and people go when they're addicted?
Rehabilitation in the house or
no, it's the name of
club
for musicians all
Betty Ford Clinic.
No, this is government owned.
I don't know about that. But tell me about the 350. When you was with Randy.
Yeah, 350 is all right, but and I've seen a lot of people come and go at Randy. And I asked Randy once about the possibility of putting some of my caps in things, because I'm known to establish business. And I was trying to look for some properties up there where I could run my program, since I have a 501c3. And I've been in the business at this point over 35 years, close to 40 years. But man, Randy would never give me a real out-and-out opportunity to be, I was sort of left and treated almost like I was a nut or something.
Yeah, did you ever tell him? I'm pretty sure you expressed how you felt a couple of times when you cussed.
They was going around. Because I wouldn't associate and getting in that small talk. I'm a member of the Baha'i New World Religion, where we don't gossip and we don't do a lot of small talk. So I would refrain from going around sitting over here talking a lot of gossip and stuff that I'm not, I don't fit into that 350.
Did they have had they started with the growers groups then? Had the growers group started, BAM or any of that, Access of any of that?
No, the growers group, hadn't started.
Access of Love hadn't started yet?
No, but my big thing with Randy, shortly after she started, Russell Kyle and I, we had a little performance.
Wait a minute now, wait a minute now. Right here, I'm gonna ask you about individuals as they come up. As you bring them up, I'm gonna go in more detail about. All right, you used two names. You said Russell and Kyle. Now I know Russell and Kyle, and I see them with you all the time. So which one came into you first? Was it Russell or Kyle?
The same.
You had met him at the same time.
The same, yeah.
Okay, and, that's his last name.
Yeah.
I thought that was him. I thought that was Kyle.
Yeah. But Russell and I did the first show over there, where I introduced the Mapache twins. And we had a beautiful show, and Russell was my engineer.
Oh, okay. So you met Russell. You met Russell at 350.
I met Russell at 350.
You had met him down at on Market Street.
Yeah.
No.
And instantly we were like brothers, man. Soul. How would you say it? We were soulmates.
All right. Now, right here also, folks, I want y'all to make sure, you know, Russell he's talking about. I'm gonna have him on later. He's gonna speak, but he is the one. Russell is the one that came to me, you know, with the idea of doing a video autobiography of Tom Jones. The man he's talking about now was the man that came to me and suggested that we do this, what we doing here today. Okay, that's Russell. Yeah. And you met him at 350.
Yeah, and see, he's a true soul brother, man. He took me up to his house to meet his wife and daughter. And I rode with him every day. I helped him set up his new business where he had a limousine service and does the story.
Have you had you met Hunter yet?
No, we hadn't met Hunter yet.
Okay.
Hunter wasn't in the picture. Hunter was slickerooning.
All right, so you and Russell, y'all riding around, you're in the cannabis move. What kind of work are you doing? You selling your caps and all your other stuff?
I didn't have to sell no caps. When Russell come in, Russell would start just giving me money for hanging with him.
Okay.
He was cutting articles out of the paper, gonna put them in his tourist business. And I just go there with him to cut out papers or post up these businesses, and Russell fed me, took care of me. He was a prince in shining armor.
Same thing.
Can't say nothing bad about him.
Can't say nothing bad about him. And it was close, so close. At the time, I was running a dance studio out of the African Culture Center, and his daughter was about 11 or 12 years old, and I was trying to encourage his daughter to stop playing soccer because I didn't see a future in soccer for a girl. And I tried to get her to take dancing lessons, which would have been a future because I was intending to, I wanted to make a teacher out of her.
Okay.
A dance teacher.
All right.
She's very, very, very important to me.
All right, now right here.
Granddaughter.
Okay, now right here we're going to talk for a while, and we'll be back in about another 30 or 45 minutes.
When today.